Family, if you will, please comment below. Building the new. Building the new. That's where I want to take this conversation. I see that in right here. Nicole says, grateful for the message we need to hear at the right time. I'm right there with you. Well, somebody tuning into this conversation may just need to hear what we are going to discuss. And as you guys are typing in building in the new, it's important for us to understand, family, that the secret to changing your life, to changing yourself, to reinventing who you are, is to focus your energy, your time, and your efforts, not on fighting the old, but instead on building the new. Let me say that again for the people in the back in case we missed it. The secret to your change in your life is to focus your time, your energy, and your efforts not on fighting the old, not on entertaining the old, not on being overwhelmed by the old, not on wrestling with the old, not on being stuck in the old, but instead on building the new. To gain new levels of success, we've got to disconnect from the old in order to open up those new doors, right? We always talk about old keys are never going to open up new doors. Every new level in your life is going to require a greater version of you. So right now, as we step into this week, let's dedicate our mind. Let's dedicate our thoughts. Let's dedicate our actions towards building the new, our time, our energy, our resources, and our efforts on building the new. In honor of Black History Month, one of the stories that has truly inspired me is the story of Malcolm X. I can remember when I initially read his autobiography that was written by the great Alex Haley. It had a profound impact on me to discover how a man can literally reinvent himself, to transform from Detroit Red to Malcolm Little, and to evolve into becoming Malcolm X, who ultimately was like an individual that played a monumental role in the advancement of people of color here in America. It was truly inspiring. And in alignment with that particular story, in 1992, in fact, here's Alex Haley's book here on Malcolm X. But in 1992, family, a film director by the name of Spike Lee took on the project of creating a film that was built around the life of Malcolm X. You guys remember this, right? Now, in this movie, the revolutionary activist was played by the none other living legend, Denzel Washington himself. Now, in my humble opinion, I believe Denzel probably should have won an Oscar from the Academy because of his great and phenomenal performance. But that's neither here nor there. It probably was because of the role that he was playing and the person that he was portraying on screen that he didn't get that award. But ultimately, a phenomenal performance by Denzel Washington. Now, I was watching this interview the other day where Spike Lee was describing the making of that film and his experience in working with Denzel. And he was talking about leading up into that film, they did the necessary research to learn more about Malcolm. They looked at all of his speeches and got the transcripts from his speeches to make sure that the speeches that were delivered in the film were the exact words of Malcolm X. And he talked about one particular scene where Denzel Washington is delivering one of these speeches. And Denzel's speaking with power and authority and conviction and passion. And he talked about he's looking at the transcript and he's watching Denzel perform at the same time. And then he notices that Denzel reaches the end of the speech. So he's about to yell, cut, so everything can be stopped and they can move on to the next scene. But he notices Denzel Washington continues to keep going. And he goes on and speaking more words of conviction, speaking with more passion, speaking with more positive and empowering energy. And he said that Denzel was saying words that were better than Malcolm X's actual words in his speeches, to the point where they ran out of film. And at that point, Spike Lee had to yell, cut. So he says, cut. And he runs over to Denzel and he says, Denzel. He said, man, what was that? And Denzel's response was, man, I don't know. Something just came over me. Then he began to talk about how Denzel prepared for that role. I want you to comment below, family. If you want it, you must become it. Again, if you want it, you must become it. In preparation for this role for the film in 1992, Denzel told his agent, listen, I'm not taking on any more projects. Clear my calendar for an entire year. I'm not taking on any more stage plays. I'm not taking on any more movie roles. I'm dedicating myself to the role of becoming Malcolm X. Side note, family, you can't be creative when you're distracted. You have to learn to eliminate all forms of distraction that are not in alignment with what you're aiming to create, experience, or manifest in your life. Denzel said, listen, I'm dedicating my all to becoming this character. Not only that, but Spike Lee talked about in that moment, he realized that Denzel understood if I want to portray this individual, I've got to become this individual. He understood that Malcolm X was a Muslim. So out the gate, when he was preparing for this role, he said, I'm not eating any pork. I'm going to learn the language of Arabic and reading Arabic and reading the Quran. He became Malcolm in that moment, right? As he's preparing for this particular role, he embodied this individual. He began to personify everything that made Malcolm X. What are you saying, D1? What I'm saying is this. This was deeper than just an impersonation of a character. It was more than him just dyeing his hair red and putting on sunglasses or glasses where he can read better, right? And just memorizing a few lines and then doing all this in front of a camera. No, he became Malcolm X. And I believe what we can learn from this particular story is this, family. When you dedicate yourself to become a particular role, you'll begin to operate at a level of excellence that becomes respected. Let me repeat that again. What Denzel did was he dedicated himself to becoming this particular role, this particular individual. And because he completely dedicated himself to becoming this person, in the moment, when the opportunity presented itself, when the cameras were rolling, he performed at a level of excellence that became highly respected. Here's where I'm going with this, family. In life, we don't attract the things that we want. We attract the things that we are. So if there's something that we want and desire in our life, it's our personal responsibility to start reflecting it. I want you to begin to imagine, I want you to begin to picture in your mind who you're aiming to become. Who do you want to become a year from now? Who do you want to be 5 years from now? What type of leader, what type of individual are you aiming to become to create the legacy that you want to leave here on this earth? Now, what we have to understand as we envision our higher self, our highest self, now what we must do is this: identify it. Identify with that individual. And here's why. Because your mind is wired in a way where your behavior is always going to be consistent with your identity. And I think this is where many people slip up, because in so many ways, we attempt to change our behavior, but it's only short-lived. Like, think about the new year, new me crew, where many people that said, I'm going to do things new, I'm going to do things differently. Now, in the month of February, they're resorting back to what used to be their historical patterns, their historical approaches to life, the things that they told themselves they were no longer going to do. Now, they're still like perpetuating those same habits, those same patterns. Why? It's because most people attempt to change their behavior without adjusting and shifting their identity. And the name of change and progress, it's built by us creating the shift from within. D1, what are you saying? As we step into this week is full of amazing opportunities, blessings, new levels of success that you can build, create, and manifest. There's great things that you can accomplish. But what I want us to do is envision who you can become. I want you to picture that person in your mind. And today, make the executive decision. You're going to identify with that person. In the same way that Denzel saw who he wanted to be as he was portraying Malcolm X, and he understood if I can be the best at showing up, or if I'm going to do this justice, play this role and do it justice, I've got to become it with every ounce of me. That's what we must do as we approach the vision that we have for our life. You see it in your mind, and now you begin to identify with it and start showing up as that person. Now, let me put this caveat in there, okay? It's not about us faking it until we make it. That's not what it's about. It's more about you actively evolving in ways where you can develop the mindset, the character, and the habits that will support you in creating the life that you envision. It's about you identifying with that person. And this is the new me that's going to show up now. This is how I'm going to start moving. This is how I'm going to start interacting with others. This is how I'm going to respond to challenges. This is how I'm going to start feeling. These are the emotions that I'm going to give mental consent to, that I'm going to allow to run through my mind and control how I show up. I want to be controlled by passion and gratitude and appreciation, empathy for others, excitement and enthusiasm, instead of being depressed or anxious or angry or feeling hopeless and defeated. No, you decide how you're going to feel and start showing up as that person. This is how we create positive and lasting change in our life. As I wrap it up, I'm going to say this. As Tanisha had highlighted, shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the Super Bowl last night. I heard a story from one of the commentators who was describing Jalen Hurts. Of course, 2 years ago, back in 2023, the same two teams were in the Super Bowl, but it was a completely different outcome. The Kansas City Chiefs got the victory the last time they were in the Super Bowl together. And he talked about, the commentator said, he heard a story where at the end of the game, Jalen Hurts went to the locker room. And he's sitting there in the locker room and everybody else left. And he's sitting there reflecting on the experience, reflecting on the moment, reflecting on the loss, reflecting on the temporary moment of defeat. And as he processed everything, one of the assistant coaches walked past him, looked him in the eye. And Jalen Hurts said to this assistant coach, "I'll be back. And the next time I'm here, I'm winning." Man, y'all can't miss that, family. This is 2 years ago, right? After a moment of defeat, a setback, a challenge, an adverse situation that unfolded, the result wasn't the way he initially planned it to, right? He wanted a different outcome, frustrating experience, discouraged, maybe felt defeated in many ways. You gave your all and still came up short. After he processed all of that, he envisioned, he pictured where he wanted to go, and he made the decision, I'm going to create a different outcome. I'm going to create a different result. In essence, family, what I'm saying is this. In that moment, that's when Jalen Hurts identified as the type of quarterback that won the game yesterday. Y'all follow me on this? In that moment of defeat, he made the decision, you know what? I'm processing this. It's frustrating, but I envision something bigger. I envision something better. I envision a greater reality, a greater outcome. And in this moment, I'm identifying as the type of person that can create that outcome and that result. Yeah, it took 2 years, but you know what? It doesn't matter how long it takes. What's most important is that he got it done. He envisioned who he wanted to be. And in that moment, he started making the necessary adjustments, the necessary changes to create a better outcome and a better result. And last night, we all were living witnesses of that man identifying with the type of quarterback that can lead his team to victory. D1, what are you saying? What I'm saying is this. For us to create positive and lasting change, we've got to actively evolve in ways where we develop the mindset, the character, and the habits that are going to support the life that you're aiming to create and experience. Here's the call to action, family. Again, I want you to sit down. Maybe if you have a journal, write this down in your journal and ask these very simple questions. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be a year from now? Who do you want to be 5 years from now? What type of thoughts would this person think? What type of emotions would this person be driven by? How would this person show up for opportunities? What would be their mindset when they're face to face with adversity and challenges? Who will this individual surround themselves with? What type of content would this person consume? What skills do I need to develop to become this person? Ultimately, what I'm saying is this: like Denzel Washington understood the role of Malcolm X, and he embodied that. He personified that. He identified with that. That's the same approach we have to take as it relates to us creating positive changes for our future. You embody the person that can create the results that you're aiming to experience. You identify with the type of leader that can create the outcomes and results that you want to create in this moment. Get crystal clear on it and make the necessary adjustments to be in alignment with it. If you don't get anything else out of what we talked about during this conversation, family, the secret to change is to focus your time, your energy, and your efforts not on fighting the old, but instead on building the new. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if in fact this is your first time, or maybe it's your first time in a long time, I welcome you and I want to shout you out as well. Put a number 1 in the chat below and I'll be sure to shout you out. Again, number 1 in the chat below. If you're new to the broadcast, I'll be sure to shout you out before we do conclude this conversation. Long run. There we go. I'm picking up what you're putting down, bro. Appreciate you, Kevin. Listen, family, if you guys benefited from what we just discussed during this conversation and mindset session, put some fist up below in the chat to let your boy know, as Kevin said, you are picking up what your brother D1 is putting down during this broadcast. Don't forget to press that like button and share with 3 of your friends and family members. Again, appreciate that, Kevin, for the reminder. Family, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. Goes a long way, and then share this broadcast out. Share the link, text it to them, email it to them. I don't care how you get it to them. Just send it to them so they can tune into the broadcast. May not be able to catch us live, but the inspiration is still the same. They can catch the replay and be empowered by today's session. Who do I want to be? Building the new. That's where it starts, Mia, for sure, sis. Absolutely. Who else we got in the building? Again, if you slid into the broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, comment below. I missed a whole bunch of comments as you guys were typing in the comment section. Your boy was in the zone. OPFX is in the building. Great day to you. Hope all is well. Glad to have you tapped in live. Fist in the air. Appreciate you, Mia. And for those that are putting fist in the broadcast, again, share this out with the people that you do care about. As we wrap this thing up, if we have yet to connect on other platforms, what are we waiting for? Connect with your boy. I'm at D1 Gibson on all platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, also X. Tap in with me on LinkedIn if you're on that platform, and then connect with me and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/David Gibson. That's where all of my long form content is available, including short films and my documentary series on small businesses, which my team is in preparation for our upcoming season. Excited about that. So just stay tuned on that particular project. Be sure to, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/David Gibson. Also, visit the website, elevationisAmust.com, for more information on my speaking and coaching services. If you're looking to dive deeper into mindset development and some more success practices that are personalized to you, tap in there. You can also visit the online store where I have books, ebooks, and all resources that are aligned with mindset development and, again, success practices where you can purchase. Some of those are for the free $99. Some you have to purchase out of pocket, but I promise you the value is there and it's all worth the investment. But again, all of that is available at elevationisAmust.com. With that being said, it is Monday, family, a new opportunity, endless possibilities, blessings, and opportunities with your name stamped on them. Not just written in pencil where somebody can come in and erase it and claim it for themselves, but no, it's etched in your name. You simply got to go get it. Stay determined this week, family. Let's be relentless. Let's continue to persist until we succeed. Even if you find yourself in a difficult situation right now, I need you to understand, as I say on every single session, this too shall pass. Sustain a successful and productive mindset this week. Let's stay focused on what matters the most. You may be saying, well, my back is up against the wall, D1. You know what? I need you to start swinging back. Start fighting for the life that you're aiming to live. Do not accept no when you're searching for a yes. Be relentless to go get that yes. Be that person that never stops persisting. As long as you keep persisting, eventually you'll find a way to succeed. If nobody else tells you they love you today, remember your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With that being said, family, again, on this Monday, I want you to be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, join in with your boy D1, 3 pounds to your chest. 1, 2, 3, be powerful. Take to heart what we discussed during this conversation, family. Let's continue to reinvent how we show up so we can transform the life that we live. I appreciate each and every single one of you all investing time during this broadcast. Again, I'm hoping you found value in it. We'll be back at it next Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, have an incredible Monday and a powerful week. Peace.
Message loud and clear, I'm gonna make it. I can see my shot is here, so now I'm gonna take it. Gotta get up, get out, time to stand up, get loud, time to rise up off the floor. And I'm stronger than ever now, can't hold me down no more. I'm waking up, 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 I'm waking up. So I'ma do it right now, yeah, I'ma do it right now.